Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flexibility practice. I'm going to use my blocks and my strap just a little bit today. Find some space to move as well, and let's get started. So let's begin today laying down. If you've got a strap, you can move it off to the side. If you would rather lay on a pillow instead of some nice hard blocks, you can lay on something softer. Or you can also just lay flat on your back to start. But I'm just gonna take one block, bring it the long way, and then bring my other block to face the other way, just so I'm a little bit leveled. And it's just one of those days where I want to lay on something nice and hard. So come on down. Make sure your head is supported. Make sure your hips, your glutes are on the ground. And then just taking your arms, maybe bring them out a little bit wider. You can turn your palms to face up as well. And then what are your legs gonna do? You could make a diamond shape. You could have them out long or your knees bent. Making any last adjustments to how you are laying right now, and close your eyes if they're still open. Start to notice your breath. No need to change anything, but just notice. Maybe you can feel your belly or your chest moving slightly. Maybe you can soften through your shoulders. Just allowing yourself to slow down your day. Now, if you are already making a diamond shape with your legs, we're going to stay here a little bit longer, but you can also take this up to seated with maybe a tip forwards in your butterfly. So if you want to stay laying down, if you want to come to seated, bring the soles of your feet together, your knees out wide, lengthening through the spine, and then maybe you will tip forwards as well. Just another breath here though. And then we can start to come back up. If you are still laying down, take your time, but you can start to make your way to seated as well. Maybe give your knees a hug, a rock side to side. We're going to be bringing our right leg out long. You might want your strap. Our right leg will come out long though. Our left foot will find the inner thigh. If you want your strap to go on your foot, it can. Or you can just point your toes up, lengthening through your spine. An option here to fold forwards. Find your hamstring, your calf. Now, depending on how long your strap is, you might be able to take your left hand behind you, maybe to your low back with your palm facing away. You don't have to have a strap for this. You can just bring your hand behind you. But if you do have a nice long strap, to hold with your left hand just keeps the arm snug and in place, but you can also start to tip forwards, or you can stay sitting nice and tall, and if the strap gets a little loose on you, just tighten the grip up more. I'm going to stay just a little longer here. You might open the chest towards the left side a little bit. You might bring your right hand in front of your leg somewhere. Maybe it's your hand. Maybe you can lift your chest up a little bit more. Maybe you can take a peek past your left shoulder. Maybe your right elbow is able to come to the ground. If the strap gets loose, tighten up the grip again. Maybe you can open the chest and take a peek past your left shoulder. Take just one more breath here, and then slowly lift yourself back up. Gently let your strap go. If you really were feeling that shoulder, give it a little roll around, and then you can start to bring your left leg out long, your right foot to the inner thigh, point your toes up. If you're gonna use a strap, you can add it or just skip this part, but lengthening through the spine. Stay here or fold forwards. How does this leg feel compared to the other one? My left leg is always a little bit more lovely, a little bit more fun than my right one. So you can stay here. You could lift back up and bring your right hand to your low back, or try to grab your strap. Lengthen the spine again though. Keep the chest facing towards your left leg and foot, and maybe fold. Maybe tighten up the grip on your strap. Maybe from here, we'll start to open the chest towards the right side. Maybe push into your left hand a little bit. Take a peek past your shoulder. Tighten up your grip on your strap if needed. Maybe tipping a little further, the elbow, the forearm coming to the ground, but still trying to peek past your shoulder and open the chest. Awesome work, you guys. Slowly lift yourself back up. You can bring your arms in front. You can drop your straps as well. If you need a shoulder roll of some kind, take a little shoulder roll. But you might even start to let your chin just tip down towards your collarbone for a moment. If you want a head roll, neck roll, roll your head over towards your right shoulder. And then bring it back down and over to the other side. And slowly bringing your chin back to your collarbone, and then you can lift your head up. We're going to find our way into tabletop. Since I've got a couple blocks to use today, I'm just going to use them. But you can have your hands on the ground, of course. But find your hands and your knees, your tabletop to start. Maybe give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. We're just going to be reaching our arms out in front. And if you want to rest your hands on top of something, the higher your hands, the higher your chest. So the more room you have to lower and to get into your shoulders. You can have your hands on the ground and still start to drop the chest down towards your mat. Let your head get heavy too. If your hands are lifted on something, let your elbows stay lifted as well. Let your chest get heavy. Let your head get heavy. Take just one more breath here. And then use an inhale to lift slowly. Take your time, especially if you are on top of some blocks. Bring your hands under your shoulders again. Take a sway, a shoulder roll, a hip rock. We are going to be making our way into a lunge with our right foot forwards. If you've got some blocks to use and you want to have them close by to hold on to, you can just have them there or keep them there. But sinking into the hips, that left hip flexor. If you need to roll your mat over to go underneath your left knee for a little extra cushion, some more softness there, you can roll your mat over. We're going to have the option to bend our back leg, lifting our back foot up. If you need to make your arm longer, you can use your strap. Maybe we can get a little bit of a twist here as well by keeping the left hand down and then reaching for the foot with the right hand and hugging the heel towards the glute. And let's keep our right knee under the chest, close to the chest. So you might want your hand on something. You might want your hand on the ground. If you peek back towards your foot, you might get a bit of a twist. If you look forwards and down instead, you might get more quad. If you do have your back foot, very, very slowly, start to let it come down again. Come back into your lunge. Take your time. Facing forwards, that back foot on the ground. And then we're just gonna send our hips back a little. Maybe they stop over top of the left knee. Maybe you keep scooching your way back and try to take a seat on your heel. Move in the blocks maybe to help you along the way. And then we're just gonna make our way right back up. Just a little bit of mobility. Back into your lunge, planting your hands, and then you can push back and into your tabletop. And we'll just start to bring our left foot forward, setting up our lunge, other side. Sinking into that right hip flexor now. Maybe rolling your mat over for your knee. Maybe having your strap close by if you know you're going to want to use it. And then you can stay here. You don't have to lift your back foot, but maybe the right hand can stay down and the left one can reach back. If your knee starts to tip out to the left, let's hug it back in. Let's keep everything close. Maybe looking towards your foot. Maybe looking down instead if your right hand wants to be on the ground or on something. And then if you do have your back foot, slowly, slowly start to bring it back down, back into your lunge for a moment. Before you start to send your hips back and lengthen through the front leg, stop here or keep going. Try to take a seat back on the heel and then just start to come right back. Right back into your lunge. Planting your hands and then pushing that left leg back into your tabletop. And then taking a moment here, maybe sway the hips, shake it out a little. You can keep your fingers pointing forwards and maybe start to sway forwards and back, pushing your palms down a little bit, stretching the wrists. If you want more than this, you can turn your fingers to point towards your knees. Maybe you will stay still here, spread your fingers wide, connect your palms down. Maybe you will sway forwards and back, slowly. Just another moment here, because sometimes this feels so good all the time. It feels so good, especially if you haven't done it for a while. Feel your forearms, your wrists, your palms, your fingers. And then you can start to relax. Take the weight out of the hands. Maybe you will take a seat back on the heels or stand on your knees. But if you want to take some wrist circles, do a few on one side, do a few on the other side. Shake it out a touch. And then we're going to sit once again. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide, another butterfly. So lengthening through the spine, stay sitting tall, or you can start to fold forwards. If it feels right for you, to slide your hands underneath your calves, maybe your palms facing up. Maybe you can snug things up a little and it's your forearms. Maybe your palms can still face up, coming into a little turtle pose. You do have your arms or your hands snugged underneath your legs. Just slowly bring them back out. Let's bring our knees together. Give them a nice hug, squeeze. A rock side to side. We are going to lay down, and if you happen to have 2 blocks, or if you're by a wall, a table, chair, you might want to rest your feet up in the air, or you can lay down and lift your feet up into the air on your own. But I'm going to go on the highest side of my blocks. I'm going to bring them out a little bit wider. And then I'm going to lay down and be very careful when I put my feet on top. So we're just going to lay down flat on our backs with maybe our feet lifted up. You can lift your legs up in the air without actually using any props. Maybe it's your feet resting on something. Maybe it's more your calves. But just take a moment. Just kind of relax your legs a little. If your feet are lifted and free to move, you might add some ankle circles. A couple circles in one direction, a couple circles in the other direction. And then if you are good to keep your legs resting wherever they are resting, you can stay here for Shavasana. If your legs are floating in the air, you can start to make your way down. You can make your way into Shavasana. You can stay here for as long as you have time for today. Just noticing how you're feeling in this moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, namaste.